Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today on this episode of the podcast, I wanted to do sort of my recommendations for gear that I really liked in 2025, but it's not just going to be stuff that I saw or that I think might be good. I'm really going to go back through all the videos that I did this year on gear, and I'm going to point out the things that I really liked, the things that I love and still use in different price categories so that you can kind of see cheaper stuff, more expensive stuff, and then like the top of the line stuff like rooftop tents and awnings. And I'm going to break all that down for you and kind of talk about the duds and the studs, right? Like the things that were really good and the things that kind of sucked. And I'm going to be fully transparent on it, right? I'm going to be honest about the things that I don't really use and the things that I do. So that's what I'm going to cover in today's episode of the podcast. I'm going to go through all that stuff. So of course, there will be links in the description below to all the stuff that I mentioned just to make finding it as easy as possible. So definitely make sure to click through those if you see something that you want. But let's get into gear from 2025 that I loved and the gear that I didn't love.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, so again, as I mentioned in the intro, today I'm going to be talking about the gear from 2025 that I got that I really, really love, that I use all the time. And then I'm going to kind of get rid of the chaff, right? Get rid of the stuff that I didn't really like. I'm going to tell you what that stuff is and kind of break down the things that I like versus the things that I didn't like. Now, I'm going to save the things that I didn't like for the end. So if you want to see those, make sure to stick till the end of the podcast, the end of the video if you're watching on YouTube. But I'm going to start and I'm going to go through them by price. So I'm going to kind of start with like sort of stocking stuffer size stuff, less expensive things. That I'm going to move up to things that are under $100. Then I'm going to move up to things that are under $500, some of which are like $200, right? Like they're not all $500. They're between $100 and $500. And then I'm going to end with the bigger things like your rooftop tent, your awnings, your $1,000 to $2,000 type big things. So if you're looking for a really big gift for that special person this year, there might be something in there. But again, I'm going to base this all on my experience. I'm going to base this all on the stuff that I used this year that I've been sort of testing and the things that I really like versus the things that I don't. So let's start out with the things that would make good stocking stuffers. And of course, shameless plug here, I have patches and stickers. So down in the description below is a link to my website. I've got funny patches and stickers here. I'll show you. If you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, I've got things like this one that says, "Don't burn your wiener," and it's a hot dog. I've got one that says, "F people, let's go overlanding." I've got another one that says, "I hate people, so I camp." So I've got a number of these patches, and they're super high quality PVC patches. And then I've got matching stickers for pretty much all of these too. So if that sounds good, these are great stocking stuffers, right? And they're $12 for a patch, $5 for a sticker, free shipping. So if that sounds good, click through that link down below and pick up as many as you want. Another great idea for stocking stuffers are Mamu's Camp Kitchen freeze-dried meals. These things are delicious. I mean, I'm telling you, I've had a lot of freeze-dried meals because I'm pretty lazy in my life, and there is just nothing as good as the ones from Mamu's Camp Kitchen. So again, there will be a link down there to these. Also a coupon code to save you some money on those if you're looking for those. That's an awesome stocking stuffer, though. Imagine getting food, literal food, in your stocking. Amazing. So those are kind of my couple of ideas for stocking stuffers. Now, some of these things that are under $100 are like 60 or 80, and they would be good stocking stuffers too because they're small. So we'll move on now to the things that are under $100, but keep in mind some of those could go in a stocking just based on their size. You'll see what I mean when I start to talk about them. So things that I like that are under $100, my new Arc Pro from Olight is an amazing flashlight. Again, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to tell you all these things, but if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to throw up videos because I'm literally going through all the videos that I did this year and incorporating them into this. So, if you're on the podcast again, just listen. But if you're watching, there'll be like visuals up here if you want to see what these things are. But the Olight Arc Pro is an amazing EDC flashlight. It's got multiple modes, from a spotlight to a floodlight to a black light to a green pointer laser. Really good on your eyes, really low eye fatigue, great high quality, custom made custom-made LEDs that they develop themselves instead of that cheap stuff like you see in a lot of the other flashlights. So this thing is a keeper. It's about 80 to 100 bucks. It kind of fluctuates in price. You can get the Ultra, which is more money. I think it goes up to like 150 bucks, but you can get this really nice flashlight for really cheap. And the other cool thing, if you're thinking of gifting this, is they're customizable. So mine actually has my name of my YouTube channel on it. But so you get someone's name engraved on it. You could get a logo on it. You could get a sports team on it. You could get whatever you want and make a great gift. Next up is my Bouge RV heated blanket. This thing is, again, about 80 to 100 bucks. It goes on sale sometimes, but it retails about $99.99. But I've seen it as cheap as 80 bucks. So this thing is amazing. It has app control. It has up to 10 different settings on it, I believe. 5 different timers that you can do. You can set up timers. You can set up the different heat. You can do all this stuff with this thing, and it's big. It sounds weird, I know, to talk about the size of a blanket, but I feel like all these heated blankets are always super tiny. They barely cover you up. This one is almost big enough to use for 2 people. I think it's like 80 by 50 or something like that. But so I used it in conjunction with my sleeping bag and not even had to use the diesel heater because between those 2 things together, I was perfectly comfortable. But so if you're looking for something cool that's unique and different, and again, under 100 bucks, the Bouge RV heated blanket is a great option. Another one is my Rotopax camp jug. Now, this thing was kind of a surprise to me because I was like, it's a Rotopax. Like, that's cool, but like this one holds water, right? But the difference is a lot of those Rotopax are smaller, right? They're maybe like a 2-gallon. And 2 gallons of water is okay, but it's not enough for like a 4-day plus trip, like a week-long trip or maybe like a long weekend. If you're cooking, if you're using it to shower especially, you're going to go through water if you're using it to clean dishes and things like that. So the 5-gallon is kind of my sweet spot. I know I've had an 8-gallon or 7-gallon before, and that was too much. I mean, I never used it. I've had 2 gallons and I ran out halfway through a trip. The 5-gallon is just kind of the perfect size. And the fact that it mounts with Rotopax mounts makes it awesome because I have a Rotopax mount. A lot of people have Rotopax mounts, but if I'm going on a shorter trip to a local national forest, maybe for 2 or 3 days, and I want to take some water with me and I don't need my diesel or I don't need any extra fuel, then I will slap that on my mount. If I'm going in the winter, I may bring my diesel without the water, right? So you can kind of swap them, interchange them, but they all take those universal Rotopax mounts. It makes mounting it really easy. Next is my Bouge RV camp lantern. Now I'm going to link to 2 of these down below. They have 2 of them and they both have pros and cons. And I've done a video on it, so I'll throw a card up here if you're on YouTube. You can go watch that if you want to kind of see the difference between the 2. I prefer the skinnier, smaller one. It has a bigger battery in it. It lasts longer and it has a smaller form factor, so it takes up less room in my drawers. But this thing's like 60 to 80 bucks. I haven't looked at the price for like 8 months since I got it. But I want to say it's like 60 to 80 bucks. So it's a pretty reasonably priced lantern, but it's kind of like a Devos light if you've seen those, but less expensive, right? And from Bouge RV, who has a great name and has good support and sells a lot of really good products. So the Bouge RV lantern is also awesome and very reasonably priced. And then my final thing is kind of a weird one. It's going to sound weird, but it's my Shasta shoes. I've been wearing these things for the last like year and a half, and they're slip-on hiking shoes. Now, I don't think I would actually go hiking in these because they're a little bit big on my feet. I went up a size because they don't have half sizes. So they kind of slip off. So if you were actually hiking, these may not work. But for camping, they're cool looking. They have great grip, good traction. They're comfortable, and they're slip-on. So when I go up into my rooftop tent, I just pop them right off, throw them into my shoe bag. I'm good to go. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to get down and pee, slide them right on. I don't have to mess with laces. I don't have to turn a flashlight on. They're easy to use in the dark, and they're comfortable and really nice for camping. So, slip-on shoes sounds funny. I know I sound like I'm 80, but for camping, if you're not going to be doing a lot of hiking or running around, they're really, really comfortable and really great for that kind of use case. All right, so now bumping up to the next tier, the things above $100 but under $500, right? And I'm only going to do a few of these because this is more expensive. So this might be for a significant other or something like that. It's probably not going to be something you're just going to get for a friend, right? Because these are more expensive. But these are the things that I use this year that fall into that price range that are really, really good. And one of those, I keep saying Bouge RV, but their stuff is really good and I use a lot of it, is their new diesel heater. Stainless steel body, integrated fuel cell, vehicle grade gas cap, so no venting, no leaking. It's just awesome. I took the feet off mine, which lowered it about an inch, and it actually fits in my drawer system. So now I can just put it right in my drawers when wintertime comes around, and I've got it 24/7 on me in the truck, which I love. And this thing pumps out a ton of heat. It also has app control. So this works really well if you're pairing it with the heated blanket that they've got, because you'll get both that you can control in the same app. and it's really user friendly. It's really nice. You could preheat it. You could preheat your tent by turning it on using your app. So that makes it really, really nice. But this thing is just awesome. It has a great little form factor. I actually hope to sort of build it in maybe at some point, or at least have it somewhere where it's mounted and I just have to plug in the accessories to it. But I'm still working on getting a cap still. So until I get a cap, I won't know about that. But for now, it fits into my drawer system and it works fantastic, and it just pumps out the heat, and it's just been super reliable. I haven't had any error codes with it or anything. I probably used it 4 or 5 times now. I'm going to be using it this next weekend every single night for 3 nights in a row. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But this thing is just a super nice little diesel heater. And I've seen it for about $200 to $230. I think full retail on it's like $275 or $300. So it is on sale quite a bit. So like low 200s for this thing is a pretty reasonable deal, when like the bare bones cheapest diesel heaters are like 120 to 150. So pay a little bit more, you get a better name brand, you get the app control, you get just a lot of nice features with it, and it's just a great little diesel heater. Next is my Helinox Chair 1 redesign. Helinox recently redesigned their chairs, and they actually changed up the way that the fabric for the chair mounts to the arms. They simplified the assembly of it, so instead of 3 pieces for the back arms, if you will, there's only 2, so it's quicker to set up, it's quicker to tear down, it's heavier duty, and it's just better put together than even the old Helinox chairs, which were also great. So this thing's about 150-ish bucks, I think, but I've seen it on sale for like 100 to 120. So a pretty reasonable price for a really good chair that's going to last you for years and years. Next, the open road storage box. This thing is really cool. It's about 150 bucks. It's totally waterproof. It'll float if you throw it in water. It has a drain built into it, so if you spill something in it, you can drain it out. It's super ruggedized and heavy duty. It's got strap lines on it so that you can strap this thing down to, like, say, the roof of your vehicle or in the bed of your truck. And you can just use this for a lot of different things. Totally waterproof, totally dustproof. So again, if you're carrying clothes, bedding, if you have bigger things that you need to fit into a tote that's going to go external to your vehicle, this thing is a great option and is not super expensive like some of the other alternatives to this case. And then next, I recently did a video on these, but these POC Link radios. These things are about 400 bucks for a pair of them. But that's for this version, the Ultra, which is what I have, which gives you a lifetime unlimited SIM card in both radios. So you get 2 radios that work as like GMRS radios, where you pick a channel and you can chat vehicle to vehicle. But then on the side here is this little button that allows you to do push to talk over the SIM card, so over a cell signal. So if you are, traveling to meet up with people from out of state, if they have this same type of radio and you do too, you can communicate with them. You can create private groups and things like that, and then you can talk to them. So like I was using this when we went to Missouri a month or so ago to talk to the guy that was putting on the event in Missouri, and then I was talking truck to truck with my buddy that was going with me on the regular FRS. So it was really, really nice to have that option. My buddy actually still has the radio, and the other night we talked on him for a while, and he was about 45 minutes away from me at his house, and we just used the radios versus having to pick up a phone and text and do all that stuff. We were just chatting on the radio. So it's a cool feature to have that. Again, if you have a buddy, if you guys want to split it, it makes it more reasonable, and then you have this radio that you can use dedicated to talk no matter how far away you are. And the battery life on them is also really great. I think it has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. I got easily 10 to 12 hours of talking on this thing out of it before I was even like at half. So you can probably go about 20 hours on a charge, and it charges off USB-C. So again, if you want to invest, if you don't just want to go buy the cheapest, no name or Baofangs or whatever, Baofangs are fine radios. I've had a couple of them, but they're huge. These things have a small form factor too. They're really easy to hold. They're really easy to use. If you want to invest and kind of buy something that you're going to use a lot on trips, the POC Link radios are super, super cool. And again, I'll put a link in the description below to those. And then finally, the things that are under 500. Now, again, these are going to range from about 150. I think the pillows are about 100 bucks up to about 350 or so for like the mattress. But all of my Hest stuff is so good. And I can't emphasize it enough. The quality of your sleep is so important when you're going out and overlanding or camping. Again, if you're doing like when I did the 2 weeks in Wyoming, I was on a stock mattress in a nature nest. And by the end of that 2 weeks, I was exhausted. I had not slept very much. If you don't get good sleep and then you're in the car 8, 10, 12 hours a day driving, hitting trails, and it's rough trails and stuff, it'll wear you out. But if you have a good mattress like this Hest foamy wide is what I have. It's about 30 inches across. It's 4-inch thick memory foam. It's super, super comfy. I sleep the best I've ever slept in a rooftop tent on this thing. And because of how thick it is, I actually removed my stock mattress, and it's 30 inches across, but my tent's 50. So then I have 20 inches of open space beside my mattress where I can store stuff. I keep my pillow up there now. I keep all my bedding up there. I keep everything in my tent because the mattress, I go solo a lot. I only need the one person mattress, and then I use the extra space in my rooftop tent for storage. So that's really just an extra benefit, an extra tip there for you. But the Hest stuff is super high quality. Their pillows fold down the smallest out of any that I found, but are also the most comfortable out of any that fold down as small as they do. So the Hest stuff is a game changer. Definitely lifelong gear, right? Like I'm going to use it until it wears out and I'm going to get more. So definitely love the Hest stuff. But that will wrap it up for the under 500. Next, we'll move on to the bigger items. Okay, so I'm just going to narrow it down to 3 things that I talked about this last year that I've used over the last year that are over, say $1,000. They're around 1,000. Actually, one of them's under. It's over 500, but the one that's the cheapest is the Vito Man Flash Speed 1500. This is a big power bank. I think it has up to 200 amps of output that can run through the inverter. It has 1,500 watt hours of capacity, so it has a ton of capacity. It also has an expansion battery that you can hook up to it. I have heard, just full transparency, some people say that they've had some failures with these batteries. It is kind of a lesser known name. I so far have been lucky. I have not had any problems with it, and it's been killer for me. I mean, it's pretty heavy and it's a big battery, but I can use it to run literally everything. So again, I have a dedicated house battery in my truck that is hardwired to like my rooftop tent. It's hardwired to a number of things, but it's really hard to like run a diesel heater. It's really hard to like run the lights under my awning, just anything external that's not hardwired to that battery. I can't really access it because it's locked away in a Plano crate. So the great thing about this is you got an AC inverter built into it. You got plugs, you got DC plugs, you got USB-C, USB-A. You've got pretty much everything that you could want on this thing. And again, with that kind of capacity, you can run so many things, charge so many things. So I take that usually on a trip 2-3 times in a row before I even have to charge it. I mean, I'll take it on a trip and be at 85-90%. When I get back, use it again, be at 70, use it again, be at 50, and then I'll take it in and charge it. So if you're looking for a big power bank that is also not super crazy, like I think it's like $500 or $600 for this thing, if I remember right. And then the expansion battery is like $300 or $400. So I mean, for under $1,000, you could get 3,000 plus watt hours of power from a power bank, which is crazy. So definitely like that thing. Now, moving up next in price is my Rain outdoor awning. This thing, I've had 4 awnings in my life, maybe 5. On 3 different rigs over the last 9 years or so. And, the top oak is really good. The open road is really good, but they require both sides to flip out. So it has a lot more setup. Also, nothing's attached to the awning. So you have to have a separate bag of like the straps and stuff that you use to tighten it and tension the awning. And again, I mentioned this a number of times. I'm lazy. I like everything to be on my truck. I like it to be really easy to use. And so the Rain outdoor awning is perfect for that. It's about 20 pounds lighter than the open road or the top oak. So that's a benefit because you got weight up high, right? So you want to reduce that weight as much as possible. So it's nice that it weighs less than most of the awnings. It also has a single fold out method. So instead you just literally pull it from the front all the way around to the back and you attach one strap, which is also attached to the awning and stays attached to the awning. You pull that back, you strap it and you pull it tight and you are done. And this thing is truly freestanding. We literally had that event in Missouri that I mentioned. There was another gentleman there with I think it was a Rhino rack awning. He put it out and within minutes the wind just wrecked it. I mean, literally folded it over the top of his camper and destroyed his awning. And at the same time, I had mine out on the side of my truck, 270 degrees, fully extended. And that thing was just no legs down, no guy lines, no legs, no nothing. And it was just barely moving in the wind. It's so stout. It's so well made. It's so well designed. It has built-in red lights, white lights, and then like a yellow sort of light to it. So you have adjustability on the lights. You don't have to use them. You can use them. You've got legs that are attached that you can drop down if you want. You've got guy lines that you can use if you want. I love it because it's just freestanding and I've never had to mess with any of that stuff. So it's about $1,000 to $1,100 awning, but it's really comparable to like the FSR awnings, but those are about $1,500. So like, if you want the FSR kind of quality and style, this Rain outdoor awning is a great option and it's a fraction of the price. So definitely highly recommend that thing. That is going to be my awning for as long as it lasts. And then ending up with the last thing, that is my top oak Stellar rooftop tent. I got this rooftop tent about a year ago. It is my favorite. I've had, again, multiple rooftop tents. I've kind of tested some out. I had the Nature Nest that I ran through Wyoming. I had for about a year and a half. I probably spent 70, 80 nights in that. It was a fantastic tent. It was definitely a budget tent, right? A little bit narrow. Same with then the Wildfinder, very similar to that tent, the Nature Nest tent. Both great options. Nothing bad to say about those. If you only want to spend about $1,000 to $1,200, those are great options. The Stellar tent is about $1,800 to $2,000, but this thing is about 4 to 6 inches wider than any of the other tents I've had. So especially if you're sleeping two and you want a wedge style, this thing is a great option. It also has the built-in U-bar that pops out the back, and it gives you a shocking amount of extra space inside of it. It's also got a skylight built into it. It's got built-in Anderson plugged power, so you can hardwire it, which is what I've done, to your house battery, and have power up there all the time, which I love. It's super comfy, and it's just really easy and quick to set up, and it's been fantastic in all kinds of weather, high wind, snow, rain, everything. It's just a great tent. So definitely plan to run this one for a long time because it has met all my needs, all the things that I've learned from all the other tents that I've had. It's also significantly lighter. So I had come from an open road rooftop tent, the Peak LT with the X hinge on the back, which gave you a little bit of extra foot room, which is also a great tent. Nothing bad to be said about that. But it was about 210 pounds, and this thing's about 175. So I shaved about 35 pounds off of it, which is a huge weight savings that high up. So lighter, bigger, more room inside, more features like the power options and things like that. Love it. Can't say enough good things about it. All right, so then wrapping this up, let's talk about things that I maybe did a video on this year that I thought was really cool and that I turned out not to use as much or didn't really like or had problems with, right? So let's get really honest here and talk about the things that I don't love and I probably wouldn't recommend unless you hear what I say and you say, oh, I would do the opposite of that. So one of those things was the inflatable projector screen from Vevor. This thing is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. It's humongous. It's really easy to set up. You just throw it out on the ground and basically hook up an air pump to it and it blows itself up and you've got a screen, which is pretty nice. But it pulls about 400 watts of power constant to blow that thing and keep that thing blown up. So you have to have, like, I ran it off the flash speed, but it literally said I have 3 hours before I'm going to tank that entire battery at that run rate that I was doing. So you have to have a really big battery for it. It's tough to use in the woods. It's also, when it's folded down, it comes in a bag, but I mean, it's about the size of like a 20-pound propane tank. It's a pretty good size bag. So again, unless you're watching movies, you take kids with you all the time and you have a huge battery bank or a huge house battery and you really, really like watching shows and movies in the woods on a big screen, this would be good for you. But practically, realistically, it's just a bit too much for camping. Works great in the backyard, but to take with you and try and power off a power bank, it's a lot. Another one of these things was the FlexTail bucket shower. Now, this thing's nice because it's actually kind of like a soft PVC material, and you can kind of collapse it down so it doesn't take up space when it's not full of water. And it has a built-in pump, so you can use it as a shower, but it's not necessarily a hot water shower. Because of its soft nature, it kind of tends to fall over and stuff. And like I had some problems with like leaking and things like that where it would set it up and then I'd look back and I'd be leaning over to the side. And, it's kind of a pain. Unless you are literally like taking everything in and out of your vehicle every time, it might be good for that sort of use case. But for me, again, I like to have everything mounted. Now that I have my Top Oak water tank on the truck, I have 7.6 gallons there that I can fill up. Plus that Rotopax camp jug that I mentioned has another 5. So between those two, I'm pretty good. And the soft form FlexTail thing, just not something that I use a lot. And then finally, the last one that I really never used. It was a fun gadget. It was a fun gimmick. The night vision binoculars. These things are cool. Like, they're fun. I had a good time playing with them for like the week after I got them, but then they've literally sat on a shelf and I have not touched them. So unless you are, I don't know, hunting, I don't even know what you would use these for. Like, I don't even know how well they would work for hunting or anything like that. They would be neat, again, if you were out camping and you heard noises and you wanted to try and see through the dark to see what was going on, but they're just not very practical. They weren't super expensive, but they were like 150 to 200 bucks, I think. And it's something that I just never use. So wouldn't really necessarily recommend those unless, again, you say, no, I need night vision binoculars. So that's another thing that I probably wouldn't recommend at this point after this year. All right, so with that, we'll do it for 2025 sort of gift ideas, gear that I love, gear that I got and have been using, things that I don't like so much, right? So what are your thoughts? If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, drop a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything you think I should have added to the list. If you have any questions about anything, drop those down there. If you're on the podcast, there are links in the description below to all my social channels. So if you want to come join the conversation over there, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. As I mentioned in the stock stocking stuffers section. Patches and stickers are available on my website. So if you're looking for stocking stuffers, check out that link. Also below this video, if you're watching on YouTube, is a join button, which is just sort of a passive way to support the channel. And it gets you early access to the podcast, to the videos that I do, all that stuff. I put out a couple every week. So whenever I upload them, it actually sends you a notification that says, hey, this video is available to watch now, even though it doesn't come out till next Tuesday or whatever. So if you're into seeing stuff early, if you kind of want early access, that may be a good way to do it. Or if you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's also a link to my Patreon page, which we have about 25 guys in that now. We have a 24/7 Discord. We do a Zoom call once a month, and we're going on a trip a couple times a year. We're actually, this coming weekend, we're going on a trip to Hoosier National, just kind of hang out. We're going to do a potluck, kind of pitch in some food and stuff, and just hang out and have a good time. So if that sounds good, check out the Patreon. And then, of course, last but not least, the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. This is totally free to join. Tons of awesome people in there, over 28,000 at the time I'm recording this, and it's growing every day. But if you're newer to overlanding and you want to be able to ask questions without getting beat up, or if you're just tired of the big groups where everybody's super negative, then this might be a good group for you, and we'd love to have you. So again, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and that you have a happy holidays. And there'll be one more episode of the podcast coming later this month. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you then.